Hi, I'm Anna with Inno3311, and we are going to be doing a Solidworks mating tutorial today. So the materials you're going to need are the NeveRest 40 motor and the PicoBox Uno Plate, which you can find on Andymark, and we're also going to be using Solidworks 2020, the latest version. So this is what we're going to be mating today. Mating helps for bigger projects, to help them look nice, and it just kind of makes your life easier in terms of not having to place a lot of things. So we're going to start by opening the assembly. If you have recently downloaded the two parts on the side or imported them, they should just be, or like the two parts that we were using, they should just be on the side. If they're not, then you probably need to look for them a little bit. They shouldn't take too long if they're named. So there's the motor. We're not going to place the motor first because SolidWorks has a tendency to not let you move the first object you place. So we're going to move the PicoBox first, because it'll be a lot easier to be able to move the motor around rather than the PicoBox. So I just left-clicked to place it, and then I'm going back into Insert Components to find the motor and to place the motor in here. Okay, so next we were just gonna left-click for the motor to set it down, like we did with the PicoBox. The motor is backwards currently to how we want to enter it, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go to Move with Triad, and I'm going to move I'm going to rotate the motor on the x-axis just all the way around. You don't have to get it exactly 180 degrees, it's just more helpful so that the mating doesn't quite mess up. So yeah, now as you can see, it's flipped around. We're going to go into mating, which is that upper little paperclip thing, and we're going to click the faces that we want to mate. We want to mate that front face to the motor, and we want to mate it to that side of the PicoBox. It's kind of like paper clipping two papers together. You want to make sure that they stick. So when you do that, you can see all the different types of mating. We're going to stick with coincident. And so when you do that, you're going to say yeah, and you're going to click the check mark. So as you can see, the motor is still moving on the PicoBox, and it's not quite staying in place. So we want to make it stay in place. It's still underdefined. So we're going to line up those two holes this time, or the hole in the housing this time. So we're going to click the outside of the housing as our next face, that little round part of the cylinder, and then we're going to click the inside portion of the circle. That's going to line them up. This time I believe it's concentric, if I'm not mistaken. And you're going to say yes to that, and that'll keep that in place. However, the motor is still undefined, as you can see that it's still just going around in a circle, which isn't good. You don't want your robot to just be going around in a circle constantly with the motor. That's not good for anyone. It's not going to stay in place there. So we're going to line up these holes. So if you just rotate it enough, you can see the holes through the drill holes. We're going to line up them. So we're going to click the inside of the motor holes, and we're going to click the inside of that PicoBox holes. I like to do it with both sides. Sometimes it doesn't like me when I do that, but it's okay if you don't. So yeah, now the piece is fully defined. So what that means is that you can't move it at all. Everything's fully defined in a term that you can't move anything. It's all good. So yeah, there's your assembly. You can do this with a lot more things other than just like a motor and a PicoBox, obviously. You can also add screws and things, which is nice. This is a picture of our last year robot. I created it in maybe 3 hours. It's almost all mating is what we used for it. It was very helpful. This is a picture from 2 years ago. I placed everything by hand, and it took me 3 days to complete this. It took a lot longer without me knowing how to mate, so it can help so much more if you know how to do it. Okay. That's pretty much it though. You can use mating on whatever you want to. It'll help you to be able to create parts and things. It also helps to be able to create big assemblies like what the robots are. It helps to make a more presented image. It's always really nice to have a whole CAD of your robot. I think it looks really pretty. It makes it easy for you to see all the little parts inside of it, everything that everyone worked for in there. It's so helpful, and it makes everything look so nice, and I promise you that it'll pay off if you use it and if you have the chance to. So yeah, I hope you liked it. Okay, thank you. Bye.